Disney presents. From Frontierland.
With Stetson so white and a pearl-handled gun swinging on his side, Texas John Slaughter made 'em do what they oughter, 'cause if they didn't, they died.
Cattlemen today have no trouble getting their beef to the market at any of the conveniently located stockyards in Chicago, Kansas City, and on either coast. But back in the days of the Old West, getting cattle to a market was a perilous, bone-tiring job, often lasting for months. Usually, several neighboring ranchers would combine their herds and drive them overland to the nearest railhead. These drives were over well-established cattle trails that had plenty of grass and water. The famous Chisholm Trail from San Antonio to Abilene, the Western Cattle Trail to Dodge City, and yet another Chisholm Trail from Fort Davis through southwestern Texas to Fort Whipple in northern Arizona. One of the most famous cattle trails was the John Slaughter Trail. It started here at Fort Ewell in Laredo, then it went up through the wild Indian country of southern New Mexico and ended here at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Now, in the story about our true hero of the West, you'll see the dangers and excitement that were a part of the establishment of this trail. It's titled The Slaughter Trail.
Like they already started the meeting. Don't guess we're missing much.
Well, we've already considered the assessment for the new school and the law about no shooting in the town limits on Sunday. Now we come to the election of a mayor.
I'd like to make a suggestion.
I ain't ready for suggestion just yet. Now, a bunch of us got together the other night. We figured it out. Now we're going to take nominations. But first, I want to talk for our man.
With Matt's for him, I'm against him.
Freetown is growing fast. By in 5 years, we'll outstrip Laredo.
Can I talk now?
Yeah. I'll tell you when. Well, the man we picked is a strong man who don't take advantage of being strong. He's a smart man who don't take advantage of being smart.
I wonder how he keeps his hat on over his halo.
Can't you be quiet?
He's honest. He's truthful. He's fearless. But he's sincere.
He's simple-minded.
He's the nominee of the committee. Your friend and mine, John Slaughter. All right. You were in such an all-fired hurry to talk. Say something.
I nominate John Slaughter.
What do you say, John?
I don't know what to say. Naturally, I'm right proud of the honor, but... Well, if you want a mayor who makes speeches, I just want to say right out, you got the wrong man.
We think we picked the right one.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't. There are at least 5 men sitting here who could do a better job.
Mr. Underwood, we know that you and John have had your little differences, but...
That has nothing to do with it. Nothing personal, Slaughter, understand?
Well, I don't think I'm the right man for the job, but I'd like to hear why you're so dead set against it.
Because you've got the itch. No matter how fast this town grows, you'll grow faster. That ranch, the whole state of Texas, nothing will be big enough to hold you. What this town needs is a mayor that'll sit. John Slaughter's a man who has to move.
What makes you so sure
Because 30 years ago, I busted into a town in the Panhandle and accepted the job of mayor. Then I got the itch. Today, I've got one of the biggest spreads in the territory, and that town is a cowpath.
You got something to say, John?
Nope. I think it's been said for me.
Well, is there anyone here who thinks he can handle the job of mayor? Speak up. Let's have some nominations, man.
Underwood,
John, please.
you gonna be home around 5 this afternoon?
I'll be there.
Expect me.
What's the matter?
Gosh darn it, Annie, there's no reason for you coming along.
Just wanted to protect that poor old man.
That poor old man can take care of himself.
All right, then. Let's just say I wanted a little fresh air.
I feel like a little boy having his mother take him to school.
Then stop acting like a little boy and act like a man.
Yes, ma'am. Who, son?
The boss is waiting for you. Right on in the house.
You with the reinforcements?
Is your name Yancey?
That's right, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Well, then you ought to know that my husband doesn't need them.
I didn't expect you, Mrs. Slaughter.
I hope you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. It'll probably help keep your husband's temper in hand. Slaughter?
Mr. Underwood?
Every word was the truth.
Well, if you believe it, then maybe we can discuss a business proposition, you and me.
Would you rather that I left?
Oh, no need to, dear. How many head of cattle would you say you had between here and the Panhandle?
Oh, offhand, 600, 800.
I got maybe 1,000.
Oh, you've built fast.
Right now, I'm standing still, maybe even slipping back a few feet.
It's a temporary setback. Beef prices will pick up.
I don't think so. A railroad coming to Abilene has dropped the price of beef so far it didn't even pay to make the trip.
Oh, it'll rise. It always does.
Well, I'm not going to wait for it. I'm going to open up a new market.
Oh? Such as?
Arizona.
Oh, the Army, the miners. I hear they need beef pretty bad.
And they'll pay a decent price.
The only drawback is using the Chisholm Trail. It's such a long, dry journey. You lose half your herd on the way.
Nobody says you got to use the Chisholm Trail. I found a new route. Been over it twice. Can I show it to you? Here's your spread. There's mine. I go north. Almost to the Panhandle, and then into Mexico.
Oh, you figure to take them west across New Mexico.
Through here, enter Arizona here, work my way down to this point there.
What's there, John?
The town. A man named Walt buys beef for the Army and the Indian Reservation. Says he'll take all the cattle I can bring.
Well, what's here?
Oh, hills, grass, valleys. What do you say, Mr. Underwood? We open the market, we control it.
No deal.
Why not?
Because I know what's there. Comanches.
Comanches? Well, Comanches won't give you any trouble. Give them 4 or 5 head of cattle. They'll practically escort you through their territory.
I'm sorry, Slaughter, but I'd rather take a price beating in Abilene than give my herd to the Comanches.
I'm giving you a chance to make a killing.
You're not giving me anything. You need me. You need my cattle.
That's right. My cut of your herd will pay my expenses.
That's better.
What do you say?
I'm in.
Fine.
On one condition. You take along a couple of my boys to protect my interests.
Who?
Jed and Yancey.
Spell that out, Underwood. Exactly what are Jed and Yancey supposed to watch?
You.
That seems fair enough. But you tell that Yancey to keep his gun holstered or I'll empty mine.
That's fair enough.
A deal.
You don't seem interested in why I'm throwing in with you, John.
You pick any reason you like.
Because if we open this market together, the next day, I'll try and squeeze you out of it.
Well, now, that's just fine, Sam. Now that I know that, I'll feel that much better about squeezing you. Hey, you haven't said a word all the way home. What's the matter?
There really wasn't anything to say.
Man's wife has a right to speak out, Addie.
I think that you have opened a trap, and Sam Underwood is the one who's going to close it.
Sam's an old man. He's made his money. He's playing it careful.
I'd like for my husband to grow old, too. Only he never will unless he starts to play it a little safe.
The Comanches are settling down.
Everyone else uses the Chisholm Trail. Why can't you?
Because the trail I found is faster and better. Besides that, this whole ranch depends on that drive.
You took 3 trips to Mexico, and I didn't sleep one night.
But I always came back, didn't I?
To get here, you had to kill a man.
Who told you that?
Now, you told Charlie. Charlie told the sheriff. Sheriff told someone else, so when I went to town, I was congratulated for being married to a gunslick.
I'm no gunslick, and you know it.
All I know is I don't sleep nights.
Yeah, country's getting civilized.
And the Comanches are peaceful farmers.
Yeah, I probably won't even see a Comanche.
Oh, John, I pray that you don't.
Honey, you've never been on the trail. You don't know what it's like. Why, you go for weeks without seeing a living soul.
Well, then tell me, John, just where do you meet gunfighters like Bill Gallagher and Ben Thompson?
Mr. Slaughter! Hey, boss! Hey, boss!
Who's chasing you, Buck?
A couple of gunfighters, and they're chasing you.
Gunfighters? Well, that's all I need. You go in the house and keep Mrs. Slaughter busy.
What'll I say to her?
Tell her anything, only just don't let her come out.
Yes, sir.
Man looks like he's expecting trouble. The man's got it.
Gunslicks? Why, you two saddle tramps, how are you?
Hiya, John.
Hello, Paul. Hiya, Mike.
John?
Well, almost 2 years. Where you been?
Traveling mostly.
Oh, California, Montana, Utah, Mexico.
Addie, come on out. Well, just tell me you're looking for a job. That's all I want to hear.
Sure got a nice spread here, John. I'm gonna enjoy working it.
Oh, you said it. Water out of a well, hot food, and a bed with a roof over it.
You came just in time. I'm leaving on a drive in 2 days.
I knew it. I'll have to brush up on my por favor.
Not this time, Mike. I'm going across the Panhandle and through New Mexico.
Comanche country?
Right through the middle of it.
Naturally.
But stop. John, you have got to do something about Buck. He's acting like he's out of his head.
Forget about Buck. Honey, I want you to meet the Forbes boys, Paul and Mike.
Oh, so you're the famous Forbes brothers. Well, come on in. You're just in time for supper.
Well, you're even prettier than John said you were, ma'am.
Well, thank you.
Buck, take care of those horses.
Look like gunfighters to me.
I don't want you to worry.
I won't.
Bye, honey.
Goodbye. Good luck.
Bye, Addie.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Take good care of it, Slaughter. You might need it. Got any idea when? Got a long ride ahead.
Don't start anything.
I'm not talking about starting anything. I'm talking about finishing something. Yancey, you got a real short memory. Now, I don't need a memory, Slaughter. You gave me something that's going to keep reminding both of us.
He wants a big hunk of you, Slaughter. That's all he lives for. Paying you back for that leg. He won't be too particular how he does it.
Well, you tell him to keep his gun holstered and do his job.
Those are the prettiest looking vultures I ever did see.
Yep. It's going to be a great drive. Jed watching Yancey, and Yancey watching me, and you watching him.
Who are you going to watch?
The cattle. Because if I don't, I'm as good as dead.
You going for broke on this trip?
Yep.
How come? Thought you were building real solid.
Well, I was. Well, they cut the price up north.
It's better to take a little loss and go without eating money.
I took a little loss for 2 years. Kept building up the herd, waiting for the price to jump up. And it didn't jump.
How much more of a loss can you take?
Well, I'll tell you. If we don't get this herd through, that banker better learn how to run a ranch, because he's going to own one.
Hold them here, boys! Hold them! Settle them down.
See anything? Comanches. They're camped someplace nearby.
How many?
Well, I only saw one.
Might have been a scout.
He was wearing paint.
How many head did he ask for?
10.
They come out of your herd.
Underwood's orders.
I give the orders on this drive. I wouldn't give him a dead coyote.
Naturally.
Give them 10 now, 100 miles from here, they'll want 20. Before we cross with their territory, they'll have the whole darn herd.
So you said no deal?
Naturally. See that draw up there? You can get that herd through, maybe we'll have a chance. Get them moving.
Try to hold them off here. Tell Marty to keep that herd going. I'll be back.
We're cowhands, not Indian fighters. We're all cowhands. Well, supposing you can't hold off those Comanches, then what? And my scalp will be hanging from a teepee instead of Underwood's wall. Well, what about the rest of us? If we can't hold off those Indians, mister, you better be riding a fast horse.
Lay it on the rock.
Got the horses on a picket line. How about the cattle? They should be 3 miles away by now. Good.
Still about an hour and a half till dark.
Might have been just a handful of them. Maybe they figured we were too much for them. Yeah, maybe. Look over there. Okay, fellas, let's go.
All right.
I'll take the first shot.
Anybody hurt?
In the leg. It's just a scratch.
I don't see anything.
Bullet ricocheted off the rock. It's just a scratch.
Charlie, get some water. You clean it up and dress it. You'll be all right, Buck.
Hey, in Oklahoma, we use a live snake for a tourniquet.
In Texas, we use a live okie.
Well, I guess they don't want to play anymore.
You had much experience with Comanches?
Uh-uh.
They don't give up so easy.
Seems like a lot of trouble for a few cattle.
They're setting up camp.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of food and water in the wagon. We can sit here just as long as they can.
There are only 15 of them. Never known an Indian to make a raid unless he had a big edge.
Well, he's got a big edge. Look.
How long do you figure we can hold out up here?
Well, we can get through the night.
Oh, they decide to hit us in the dark. We won't last 5 minutes.
Mike, you know an Indian won't attack after sundown. They're afraid of the dark. Afraid their soul won't find the happy hunting ground.
Well, if anyone come near me, I'll be happy to show them the way.
Fellas, we don't stand too good a chance. If we slip out now and leave the cattle, start riding, I think maybe we can outrun them.
Seems to me if we do make a run for it, the only thing that can happen is we wind up in the next town dry and broke.
It's almost as bad as being dead.
Thanks, fellas. Mike, wake up.
Oh, I'm not brave enough to sleep.
The canyon we went through is about 3-4 miles back.
Yeah, but there's a lot of restless Comanches between us and that canyon.
There's something else between us, too.
You lost me.
Dry grass. It's sure worth a try.
Some kerosene in the chuck wagon. Get it. Hey, fellas, wake up. Come on, roust out. Sam.
Yeah.
Listen.
What's up?
Me and the Forbes boys are going to set a prairie fire.
Hey, there's going to be a bunch of surprised Indians.
Is there any chance of the wind shifting?
Well, there's always a chance. You help out hitch up the team and head for the herd. If you see fire coming your way, you keep right on moving, here? Let's go.
Ow!
The wind's picking up.
Yeah. Mike, you take the right, Paul take the left. Stay low and keep moving.
Lucky ones won't even wake up.
We'll fire off a couple of shots and wake them up, let them scramble for their lives.
You think they do the same for us?
No. But if we act like them, we might as well paint up and ride with them. One of those dead Indians wasn't so dead after all. Come on, let's finish the job.
Here.
Get back.
In 10 days, we should be out of New Mexico.
With any luck, we'll make it in 8.
Hey, there's a big herd in the valley over there.
So?
Someone's wearing your brand.
Well, let's go cut them out. Go, Marty! Just cut out the T3 brand. I got 3 of you picked out. You first.
Been a long time.
Tell him I mean it.
Now, you're talking big for a man with a long rope.
I only cut out my own brand.
You know whose herd you're cutting up?
John Chisholm's.
King pays us good to keep rustlers from thinning out his herd.
My name is John Slaughter, and my brand is the T3. Now, do you want to repeat what you just said?
Good foreman's got to protect his boss's cattle.
Foreman? Well. You've come a long way, Mr. Boyd. Last time we met, you were a grave digger. If it gets any worse, we'll never get home. Hey, United States Cavalry to the rescue.
A little late, aren't they?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
I'm looking for John Slaughter.
You found him, mister.
I have a warrant for your arrest, issued by the federal government to be enforced by General Wallace, temporary governor of the territory of New Mexico.
Just what is it I'm accused of, Lieutenant?
Rustling.
Rustling?
And the murder of William Gallagher.
Who?
And the murder of William Gallagher, also known as the man from Bitter Creek.
Well, that happened some time back, Lieutenant. Where do I have to go to clear this up?
Silver City, about 20 miles north.
Frosty, get my horse. Paul, patch up the gear and see that the horses and men rest. I'll be back by tomorrow.
What if you're not back by tomorrow?
Then I'll be back the day after tomorrow.
All right, that's as long as we wait.
How's that?
Feed's not too good around here. Weather's due to turn cold. No sense in letting Mr. Underwood's cattle just sit.
Mister, I'll tell you when to move this herd.
According to the lieutenant, you're going to be doing more listening than talking.
Those cattle better be here when I get back.
No matter how many of them drop dead?
Yancey, I'm only going to say this once, so you listen and listen good. Mr. Underwood may lose a little something. A few cattle of you, now take your pick.
All right, you're the boss.
I'll have Buck keep an eye on him.
You do it yourself.
Don't you want some of us to go along with you?
Yeah, I'll be all right. I got the lieutenant and his men for protection. Thank you, Frosty. Hey, Lieutenant, who swore out this warrant?
Friend of Gallagher's, man by the name of Boyd.
You better get yourself another warrant ready.
Ever been to Silver City?
Nope.
Like to see it?
Yep.
In there.
I thought I told you two to stay with the cows.
Oh, Buck and the boys can handle them.
The cows will sit still, but I'm not too sure about Yancey.
He's in town.
Probably reserving a front seat for the hanging.
Don't you worry about that. A couple of the boys will have you out of here in 10 minutes.
Oh, fine. You break me out of here and I start running, I don't stop running until somebody guns me down.
They ain't going to give you much time. I got the trial set for tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. And there's only one lawyer within 100 miles of this place. He's prosecuting.
Well, I got one story to tell, and I'll tell it straight.
John, they don't want the truth. They want a hanging.
I never ran in my life from anybody. And I'm sure not going to start now.
Innocent or guilty, they dig the same size grave.
That's all the time you've got.
What'd he say?
We'll be around.
I sent across the street for some food.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. You're entitled to a good meal.
Some of the boys are drifting into town.
You get them out.
As soon as the trial's over.
I don't want any gunplay, I mean that.
You take a look at that jury. They're hungry.
Well, they ain't gonna feed on me.
Everybody on their feet for the judge.
All right, you can sit down now. John Slaughter?
Yes, sir.
According to the record, it took 1.5 years to catch you.
Well, only because I didn't know anybody was looking for me.
Mr. Slaughter, before this trial starts, there's something I want you to understand.
Yes, sir.
The New Mexico territory has got a reputation you can smell clear across the Mississippi. So bad, the president had to send General Wallace to clean it up. You know who gave us that reputation, Mr. Slaughter? Texas gunfighters. Yeah. And you know how we're going to clean us up? By hanging every Texas gun who comes across the border. Got anything to say?
I don't think anybody's going to listen to anything I have to say.
If you're trying to antagonize the court, Mr. Slaughter, you're making a good start. You're charged with murder and cattle rustling.
That's a lie!
Mr. Slaughter, this is a courtroom. The jury will decide what's a lie and what's the truth. Now sit down. I know this is going to hurt you, Mr. Prosecutor, but I think we can dispense with all the high-flying speeches and get right to the case. Call your witnesses.
Well, Your Honor, since Mr. Slaughter is so vehement in his denial of being a cattle rustler, I should like to prove that point immediately and call as my witness John Chisholm.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, sir?
I do.
Now, of course, everyone in the territory, the whole country, in fact, knows you, sir, but for the sake of the record, may we have your name?
John Chisholm.
Occupation?
Rancher.
Have you ever met John Slaughter?
No. But I've heard about him and his brother Charlie.
Do you have any grievance against him?
No.
How many cattle do you own, Mr. Chisholm?
I don't know.
10,000, 20?
More like 100,000.
Then the money involved in the 50 head doesn't really mean anything to you, does it?
Of course not. But if a rustler takes one cow, he's got to pay for it with his neck.
And did John Slaughter steal 50 head of cattle from you?
That's a lie! Mr. Slaughter, you use that word once more, and this trial's going to be over a lot faster than you're going to like.
Now, actually, the burden of proof should rest with Mr. Slaughter, but I believe it will speed things up, sir, if you can prove that, in fact, the cattle in question do belong to you.
Boyd. He's got a bill of sale for them. Well, don't just stand there.
All of it's in evidence, Your Honor.
You're a witness, Mr. Slaughter, if you've got any questions.
What's the point?
I think you better take the chance while you've got it.
Mr. Chisholm, did you ever see me steal any of your cattle?
My foreman did.
He tell you my brand was on those steers?
He couldn't get close enough because you drew down on him.
They had my brand on them.
That's what you told him. And all we got for it is your word.
Man could change a brand on this quicker than he could on a cow's hide.
That's a legal bill of sale.
Mr. Chisholm. You got over 100,000 head of cattle, right?
That's close enough.
Did you buy them yourself?
No, either my foreman or my agents handle the buying.
The 50 head in question, who bought them?
The name is on the bill of sale.
Says Frank Boyd.
He bought them and I okayed the deal.
How much did he pay for them?
Oh, I can't keep track of all the deals I make. It must be on the bill of sale.
Last spring, I paid $7 a head.
That's the going price.
Then you got yourself one good foreman, Mr. Chisholm, because he only paid $3 a head.
How much?
3.
Boyd! I called you, Mr. Boyd.
I accused a man of cattle rustling. That's one mistake I don't like to make. Is that your signature?
Mister.
Is it, sir?
Yeah.
You bought white-faced cattle for $3 a head?
Well, a cowhand rides up. I made a deal with him. Well, I'm supposed to pay the best price I can, no matter what the color is.
Mister, you know the difference. Your Honor, beside myself, 4 of the men are running white-faced cattle. Jameson, Kingston, and the 2 Slaughters. And none of us sell for $3 a head. I'd like to withdraw the charge of cattle rustling.
Forget about the rustling.
I'm sorry, Slaughter. There's nothing I can do except to say that you can graze Chisholm land whenever you want. You're fired.
Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, sir? Is he your only witness on the murder charge? Well, yes, sir, but I still think I can prove that this man... You couldn't even prove to that rope-hungry crowd that Boyd's anything but a liar. That is the right word for it, isn't it, Mr. Slaughter?
Yep, that's it.
So if he's your only witness, case dismissed.
Somebody get the sheriff. Now what do you expect me to do? Get your whole crew. You heard him, boys. Back off and stay out of it.
All right, give him room, fellas.
I gave you a chance at a fair fight when I shot Gallagher. You turned it down and tried to get me hung for my pains. Well, I'm giving you another chance now, and you better take it.
Make sure it's a fair draw, even though he don't deserve it.
I ain't drawing against him, Sheriff. I ain't drawing, no matter what he says, I ain't drawing against him. If I ever catch you south of the Cherokee Strip again, I'll kill you. I can't figure you. Why don't you let him throw it?
Underwood said to look out for his interests. I guess that's all I was doing.
I'd say you looked out for my interests. Thanks.
This came by wire. I tried to give it to you a few minutes ago, but, you were busy.
It's Addie. She's very sick. I got to get back to the ranch.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Slaughter.
Anything we can do, John?
You fellas boss the herd the rest of the way. I'll catch up with you as quick as I can. Lieutenant, would you do me a favor? Wire Freetown, Texas, Charlie Slaughter. Tell him I'm on my way.
Sure.
Lieutenant, tell my wife. Just tell her I love her.
We did everything we could. You know that, John.
I know.
Happened so fast.
You do what I told you, Charlie.
John, you're wrong.
Sell the ranch. As soon as I get wherever I'm going, New Mexico, Arizona, I'll send for the children.
That's what you want.
There isn't anything here for me anymore. With Addie gone, everything I was building is gone.
John, you need family around you. More than anything, that's what you need.
Bye, Charlie.
Texas, a ranger he had to become, and outlaws he defied. For Texas, John Slaughter made 'em do what they oughter, 'cause if they didn't, they died. His turned-up white Stetson and pearl-handled gun were known